Nothing became money.
Shells became money.
But people, you know what they did with the shells? They adorned themselves with them. Like cigarettes were money, right? In prisons, the GIs used them because you could smoke them. The reason that cigarettes were valuable as money was because people smoked.
If I can wear my Bitcoin, does it have value?
You can't wear your Bitcoin.
Well, if I can wear a representation of it.
No.
But the point I'm making, Peter, is that what you seem to be missing here is that we aren't even against gold in this room. There's gold in Bitcoin. We're not against it. We understand that people use it. People like yourself want to store it. You seem to be missing the point that other people just don't care about gold. They found a new form of money and they're going to use it.
They think they did. They found fool's gold.
But bear with it. Enough people, 150 million people worldwide have decided this is the form of money that they want. And bear with me. They like the trade-offs. They don't care that it isn't used in industrial use, but they like the trade-offs that they can store it on their phone or their wallet, send it anywhere in the world instantly. So they've made that choice that they think that's better money. Hold on, Peter, sorry. Why can't you accept that other people have decided this is the form of money they want?
They haven't decided it's the form of money. They decided this is what they're going to buy to get rich.
No.
People expect the price of Bitcoin to go way up. If they didn't do that, right? Let's assume people assumed that the current price of Bitcoin, whatever it is, 56,000, 57,000, whatever it is.
That's a long way from when you heard about it at $10.
But let's say that everybody accepted that this was it. This was as high as it was going to go, right? 57,000, this is the price. How many people would still be buying it right now if they thought this was the peak? Hey, I'm happy to have, I want Bitcoin as my money. I want to use it, but it's 57,000. It's not going up. Right, this is where it is. Do you think you would still have all these people buying it? Would it be because then it's still not stable because then it's subject to the debate. Okay, it's going to go up with inflation. Okay, it's going to go up 5% a year, 6% a year, whatever.
I give you 6 million people straight away. I have it. The entire population of El Salvador because they wouldn't need to be dollarized anymore.
When you're buying Bitcoin, you're not hiring somebody to protect your purchasing power. You're just buying into a mass delusion. And you're just hoping that more people...
The Bitcoin miners in the last 24 hours were paid over $50 million worth of Bitcoin to continue to secure the network.
Yeah, they're going to do that as long as they can make money mining Bitcoin, which means there has to be more fools that are willing to buy it. But you're buying into that hysteria that more people will keep on buying it. It's a constant pump. You got to keep getting more and more money into it. More people have to come in to maintain the whole thing. But I want to ask you something.
They still get, hold on a second. Even if Bitcoin's price, this is important. Even if Bitcoin's price dropped 99%, the 900 Bitcoin that will be mined today will still be mined if Bitcoin's price drops 99%.
If Bitcoin's price drops 99%, no one's going to want to buy it.
It's not going to drop 99%.
Maybe you guys, but the vast majority of people will be out of Bitcoin for good. But I want to ask you one more thing because this doesn't make any sense. You keep talking about the digital economy. I mean, what do you mean digital economy? I mean, just because there's like a metaverse and
not a metaverse. No. We're not talking about metaverse. I'm talking about the fact that right now, if you think of the businesses that you own in your equity portfolio, how many of them have factories? How many of them have large transportation fleets? How many of them actually produce physical goods, etc.?
A lot of them.
Okay,
a lot. What I'm buying,
but well, of course, that's why you haven't outperformed me. But if you think about the digital economy, right, is in the digital world, there are now these businesses that are being created. Now, there are incumbent type digital businesses. So think of Facebook, for example. They still have physical employees. They have physical offices. But that's not where the value of that business is derived. The value of that business is derived from what happens in the digital world, not the physical world.
Well, no. Right? Facebook derives its value from advertising revenue. And people are advertising real things in the physical world that people do and people need and people buy.
Not always.
Well, what are they?
And so take, let's say, for example, a media company, right? Many of the media companies are advertising to have digital subscribers for their digital content. On top of that.
All right, but the people who are creating that content, they need to eat. They need to live somewhere. They buy products. I mean, our trade deficits are at all-time record highs because we're buying more actual stuff.
Of course.
Right? We're not all living in some digital fantasy world where we eat digital food and live in a digital house and drive digital cars. I mean, people use...
Wait one second. Hold on. I'm going to let Peter chime in here in a second. But you're a little bit older than me. Not much, but a little bit. When you first started to drive, you had to do what? You would go buy a car, you'd go to the gas station, you would buy a map, a physical map, look where you were going on a long road trip, and you would start to drive. And you normally would have to have a physical, either 8-track or a CD-ROM or whatever, in order to listen to music, etc. Now, if you just think about getting in a car and going on a long road, you don't buy the physical map anymore. It's been digitized. You now use the digital version of that asset. You don't buy the 8-track or the CD-ROM or the cassette tape player. Instead, what you buy is you have digital music that you probably are paying a subscription. You don't even actually own the song itself. That's been digitized. And so there are some things, like a car, that will never be digital. You will never be able to take the car, put it in some digital world, and then you and I can like fly down the highway digitally, right? So yes, there are still things that will exist in the analog world. But the trend is that everything in your life that can be digitized will be digitized. And I would even argue that the taxi has been digitized, because now what has occurred is the largest taxi company in the world owns no cars. The largest hotel chain in the world owns no hotels. Well, they have all become asset-light, digital-first businesses.
No, the important part you mentioned, the cars are still there. They're still on the road.
Agreed.
And even if the drivers one day go away and they're autonomous vehicles,
we're going to digitize the drivers.
They're not. The cars are still there. But you know what? Money is like the car. Money ain't going to be digitized. You're not going to take real money and just represent it digitally.
Well, that's already happened.
Bitcoin.
Well, no, money's already been represented digitally.
No. That's fiat. You can take fiat currency and represent it digitally. Yeah. I'm not talking about fiat. I'm talking about real money, which is a commodity, is going to be a real thing.
But in the history of money, Peter,
you're hoping that Bitcoin can replace fiat paper currency as a fiat digital currency.
No.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.